My name is Ikuko Iwashita. I was born April 6, 1944. My birthplace was Poston, Arizona, because that's where my family was sent during the war. And then I lived in Cyprus since they moved back to California. Although it wasn't Anaheim, Cyprus.
Can you please tell us a little bit about your parents' backgrounds, starting with their name?
My mom's name was Rose Tasse, and she was born in Long Beach, but she was sent back to Japan as a child and was raised in Japan. And then when she married my father, then she came back to the United States. My dad was born in Japan, and he was the only member of his family to migrate to the United States. And he came in 1921. He was born in 1900, so he originally went to San Francisco and then kind of worked his way down. He originally came to get his father, who came stowed away over here, and sent him home. But he came legally, so he worked up in the Turlock area, and then went back to Japan, married my mom, and then although they married in San Francisco, and then they slowly moved down, and they ended up in Los Angeles, and then eventually Orange County.
How many siblings do you have, and do any of them live in Anaheim?
I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. My one brother lives in a retirement home in Anaheim Hills. My oldest lives in Cyprus. My another brother lives in Oklahoma, and my youngest, who is younger than I am, lives in a duplex, and we live in separate units in the duplex. My sister lives in New Zealand, but she used to live in Anaheim for a long time.
So where did your family live before the evacuation?
Actually in the same property I live in now. They had an egg ranch, and then after the war ended, the man who owned the property actually wrote to my dad, why don't you come back, because people that were running the egg ranch were going to leave. So my dad came back and resumed the egg ranch.
What was the role of religion in your family?
I think only because there was Reverend Okamoto, and he went around to the different farms and tried to recruit people to the church. So that's how it became for us children, but our parents never were all that religious and then eventually my mom started going to church, but my dad never did. But it was us younger ones that actually went to church. Mm-hmm. Older ones didn't go to church very much. So I think I started going since I was about 5, 6. So it's always been a part of my life.
Right. Your family was incarcerated at Poston. Mm-hmm. And then you were born there. Which of your family members were incarcerated?
All of them, because I had all the 4 brothers the 3 brothers and my sister. My brother was born just after we got out of camp. Mm-hmm. This one, he was born in Glendale, Arizona. And
so your family owned the egg ranch at the time?
Yeah, we didn't own the property, but we rented it for a lot of years, and then finally, and I can't remember what year, my dad, Mr. Scally sold him the property.
And that would have been after Poston?
Oh yeah, that was after the war.
But you were able to go back to it after Poston and continue.
Yeah, because of Mr. Scally.
So that's why your family decided to settle in, I guess, Cyprus / Anaheim after the war. And you went to school in the area, correct? Were they Anaheim schools?
No, we went to Cypress Elementary School, and then we went to the Anaheim district because Cypress didn't have any high schools then. So when I went to junior high, we started at Western Junior High, and then for 1 year, then Orangeview was being built, and so was Brookhurst Junior High. So our year at Western, I know we went in the mornings, and Brookhurst Junior High went in the afternoons. And then in the following year, we went to Orangeview for 1 year. And then the year after that, we went back to Western as a high school.
What was your occupation after school?
After school, well, I did go to Fullerton Junior College, as it was called then, and then went on to work as a medical assistant. And that was my career my whole life, all adult life, and that's what I retired from. When I originally started working in a doctor's office, I was just a one-office girl. But by the time I left, I was one of so I just did surgery scheduling.
And were there any obstacles that you encountered in school or at work, including anti-Asian prejudice?
Not really. In some ways, it was kind of opposite by the time I went to junior high school, because there was a expectation that as a Japanese you were supposed to be smart.
Oh.
So it was kind of a nasty burden.
And when did you begin attending the church?
As I said, I had to be 5 or 6 years old. So you're talking 1949, 50s, early 50s. So we weren't the first family. The Hatanaka family was the first group that went, and then we kind of followed somewhere along the line. But we were one of the first kids that really went to that church.
And so do you know anything about the history about when the church was formed?
I know that there was a church in Anaheim before the war, and then of course the war caused it to be closed down. And then Reverend Okamoto, they were not going to open it back up, but Reverend Okamoto really wanted to open it up, so he's the one, the impetus behind the church beginning again after the war. I'm not sure how soon after the war it opened up. I would think it wouldn't be that many years later.
And what role do you believe the church has played in the local Japanese American community?
I think it's helped because of keeping that Christian open to to the Japanese. Some of our pastors were converted in the camps, so there was a way to keep that faith open and strong in the community. And so
what are major changes to the church and the membership that you've witnessed during your time there?
I think that we try to open it up to a more not Japanese, but open it up to others, as not only as we've tried to do the intergenerational church, but also reach out to those who are not Japanese. Mainly because we have so many mixed couples.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be cognizant of that. We also have we have a family from Sri Lanka we have Vietnamese, Thailand, so we want to be inclusive of all those. So we probably, so we have all different nationalities, and they really wanted to open that up.
As far as church buildings, can you describe where you first started attending church, and then if the church moved at any point?
Originally, our church, at least the one that I was attending, was in Stanton. And I was trying to go by that street and remember the name of the street. But so that's where we started. I just remember just a big white building, and then we eventually moved to the Citron address, and then around 1964 we built the new church, which is on Mayflower, and we moved there around 1964, and then we've been making additions to that. We're just finishing up a remodel.
Okay.
So.
So when you grew up here, you were close enough to Anaheim. Did you spend much time in Anaheim, or do you have any special memories of the city?
Yeah, because as I said, we went to SQR store. We used to eat at I think it was a Carl's there on Lincoln.
Yeah.
And that's where we used to go eat, have our hamburgers. So, we spent many times in Anaheim. And as I said, the SQR store, and there was other stores along Lincoln that, we went to. So, yeah, I remember Anaheim.
How about the Japanese community? Did you spend a lot of time shopping and eating in restaurants in areas that were more in the Japanese community, Japanese restaurants and things?
No, because we really didn't have a real Japanese community like they have in LA. There's no central area like they have now. They have the Vietnamese and the little India and Artesian. We didn't have that here in Orange County as far as Japanese. We were just too interspersed all over the county. So I think we depended on our churches to have that community.
And do you have any other memories of maybe after release from camp, or maybe your parents' attitudes about the incarceration, or anything that you'd like to share that I didn't ask you about?
Yeah. They never really talked about camp. And by the time I even thought about it, my dad had passed away. I think my mom had a difficult time, I got a sense. So she didn't, I didn't really approach her. I approached her about our family history, because I wanted to find out about her family history. But I never asked her about camp. I thought my dad would be more open, and unfortunately by then he had passed away. And then I had gone back to Poston a couple of times, and I wished my dad was alive when I went back there.
Yeah.
So for him to get his perspective. But he never had all that negative feelings, because in a way I think he had said once that in some ways it was safer to be in camp because of the attitude of the population, against Japanese.
How about your siblings? Have they shared any thoughts or memories of their time there?
I asked John, my oldest brother, and because I went back with him to Poston the last time, and he had a hard time remembering some things because he was in elementary school, and trying to remember how the school buildings were set up, and so forth, because they still had a couple of them still preserved. And I noticed that since the first time I was there and the second time, a lot of the buildings have pretty much gone. So it's kind of sad. They're trying to at least preserve what's there.
Right.
Because my sad thing is the gym that they had built. When I was built there, it was still there, and then when I went the last time, it just had the corner pillars, and that was it. So it was kind of sad to see that those were gone. So, you know, I think they're hoping to recreate some of those buildings there.
Yeah.